I showed up for my own party and saw a banner. Congrats, Golden Girl. 83 guests cheered. My mom laughed. We used your $12,000 bonus to celebrate her promotion. My sister added, no one really cares about birthdays after 30. I whispered, copy that. That night, I froze 6 cards, reversed 21 transfers, and changed the deed. By morning, the house had new locks, and what came after changed everything. You're kidding me. That's what I whispered, just loud enough to hear over the chorus of cheers. 83 people clapping. One massive banner swinging in the spring wind. Congrats, Golden Girl. My name was nowhere on it. Smile. Mom shouted from the porch, raising a champagne glass like some benevolent queen. We used your $12,000 bonus to celebrate her promotion. Laughter. It took me 2 full seconds to even register what she'd said. $12,000. My bonus. Gone. My chest buzzed like a phone on silent. Then came my sister's voice, high-pitched and smug. Nobody really cares about birthdays after 30, Maddie. Grow up. That's when I knew. I wasn't a guest. I wasn't even background noise. I was the bank. Copy that, I whispered, and took a step back from the yard. From the lawn, people waved at me like I was someone's plus one they'd forgotten the name of. No one noticed that I hadn't been hugged. No one questioned why my face was pale under the sun. I'd flown in from Austin for what I thought was my birthday dinner. My mom had texted weeks ago, we're doing something small, just the family, bring a nice dress. And then stopped responding. When I landed that morning, I picked up a cake with my name on it. It's still in the backseat of my rental, melting. Instead, I walked into what looked like a graduation party, a corporate gala, and a high school reunion smashed into one overpriced backyard rental. There was a live quartet, a catering van, balloons in gold and white. And standing in the center of it all was Lila, my younger sister, Lila, in a designer jumpsuit and heels too expensive for someone supposedly struggling with rent last month. She spotted me and winked. No greeting. No, happy birthday. Just that look. The kind that says, you're not here to be celebrated. You're here to clap. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I smiled. I nodded. And I stayed exactly long enough to confirm it all. That night, in my hotel room, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling while the weight of 10 years' worth of gas money, Venmos, temporary cosigns, and family favors settled on my chest like wet concrete. At 1:03 a.m., I opened my laptop. At 1:17, I froze 6 credit cards. At 1:23, I reversed 21 transfers. At 1:46, I opened the folder marked deed. By morning, the locks were changed. And by Sunday, my family would find out exactly what that meant. Not through a text, not through a call, but by standing in the driveway of a house they thought still belonged to them. It didn't start with betrayal. Not at first. It started with 1,000 tiny could yous. Could you help me tweak my resume? It's just 2 pages. Could you send $400 for mom's insurance? It bounced again. I'll pay you back. I swear. Could you cover dad's overdraft? Just until his disability check clears. Could you? Could you? Could you? And every time I said yes, I told myself I was being kind. I told myself this was what family did. I told myself I was lucky to be in a position to help. But helping is when someone trips and you catch them. This was them jumping off cliffs, waving on the way down, and expecting me to build trampolines under them with my bare hands. I paid everything. Mom's urgent dental work that somehow never ended. Dad's 3rd car battery in 6 months. Lila's entire moving costs to LA after her 4th career change in 2 years. When her design studio failed because she hadn't paid taxes and didn't know how to invoice, I paid the penalty just so she wouldn't lose her apartment. She posted a photo the next day in front of a sushi bar. Blessed and building. When you stop waiting for handouts, the universe provides. 35 likes. 1 from mom. 1 from dad. They weren't ashamed. They were proud of her. They treated my help like it was her achievement. Then came the family group chat. Mom posted a picture of Lila at some co-working space, laptop open, iced coffee in hand. So proud of our golden girl. Thank you to everyone who believed in her. I liked it. Just to be polite. Then I saw the caption had been edited. Special thanks to Dad, the only one who's always supported her dreams. I had wired $3,200 the week before to help Dad cover bills. I guess support has a very flexible definition in our family. The turning point wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. A notification popped up one afternoon while I was in a meeting. Your Wells Fargo account has been charged $519.76 at Best Buy. I didn't make that charge. 10 minutes later, a text from Lila. OMG, don't freak out. I needed a new mic for content stuff. You'll love the video I'm making though. No sorry. No heads up. Just assumed. Because to her, my bank account was just another family resource, like Wi-Fi or cold cuts in the fridge. Dad was worse. When I declined his request for a little bump for his truck repairs, after I'd already sent $800 last month, he said this in the group chat. Guess some people think helping family ends when the credit card stops swiping. Thanks for nothing. That message got 3 laughing emojis. One from a cousin, one from Lila, one from my aunt, who once called me our family's quiet hero. Hero? That's a joke. A week later, I noticed my name had been changed. On Mom's health insurance account, on the power bill, on the car lease I co-signed for Lila. She had replaced me, signed her name over mine. Quietly, strategically, without a word. I confronted her. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just asked, why? Lila looked me in the eye and said, "You're too sensitive, Maddie. You don't even use the car. And Mom said you'd probably be too busy to notice. We're just simplifying things." Simplifying. Like I was clutter. Like I was a line item on a spreadsheet. The final straw came in audio form. I was cleaning out my Google Drive. Something about that backyard party made me want to purge when I found an old synced folder from years ago. Inside, backups from a shared family device. I clicked on one out of curiosity. It was named Emma's Party Prep. I hit play. Voices. Clinking glasses. Lila's laughter. And then, let's just tell her it's a birthday dinner. She'll come if she thinks it's for her. Maddie doesn't care what we spend her money on. She just wants a seat. Then Mom's voice. Well, she's not getting one near the front. We have clients coming. Clients. My bonus paid for a party to impress Lila's clients. That's when I knew. This wasn't neglect. It was design. They were architects of my silence. I didn't tell them what I found. Instead, I created a folder. Named it Proof. Inside, screenshots, transaction records, audio files, dated emails, a copy of the mortgage document where I held the deed, a hard backup of every dollar they'd ever requested and every manipulation that followed. Then I made 3 phone calls. To my lawyer, to my bank, to a locksmith. I didn't send threats. I sent revocations. Lila no longer had access to my Amex. Mom's utilities bounced by noon. Dad's truck repairs were his problem again. And the house, the one they lived in I owned, had new locks by sundown. They didn't find out until Monday morning, when Dad tried to enter through the garage and his code didn't work. When Mom called the insurance company and found her account suspended. When Lila's phone auto-logged out of Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Uber. She posted on Facebook. Some people only support you when they can control the narrative. Stay golden. 17 likes. None from me. I was too busy drafting a message titled, "Here's what you forgot when you stole my kindness." And the next chapter was going to be louder than they ever imagined. You're coming, right? Mom's voice was too sweet, like tea hiding spoiled milk. Just dinner for my birthday. No tension. Just us. I smiled into the phone. Wouldn't miss it for the world. She didn't know that I already had a folder in my purse labeled Golden Girl, unfiltered. She didn't know what I planned to play during dessert. The table was set for 12. Outdoor patio, string lights, candles. A cake that said Happy Birthday, Queen, in cursive gold frosting. Lila was already there, of course, wearing white. Again, Dad was grilling, trying to act like things were fine. He nodded when I arrived. No hug. Just, at least you showed up on time. Mom kissed me like she'd forgiven me for something. Lila raised a glass. We're all here. Let's keep it civil this time. Dinner was a performance. Lila talked about her branding work, and Dad bragged about the lawn. They tried to box me into the usual script. Quiet, polite, invisible. I smiled. I passed the potatoes. I waited. At 8:34 p.m., Mom tapped her glass. To family. Despite everything, we're stronger together. I stood up slowly. I actually have something too. I reached into my purse and pulled out a flash drive. Lila's eyes narrowed. What's that? Memory lane. I plugged it into the speaker system, the one I bought for them last Christmas. A beat of static. Then, let's just tell her it's her birthday. She'll come if she thinks it's for her. Lila's voice, crystal clear, echoing across the patio. She won't ask questions. She's so desperate to feel included. Gasps. Mom, we'll use the bonus. It's not like she spends it on herself. She'll never know. Dad, laughing in the background. Silence dropped like a curtain. I let it play for 20 more seconds. Then I pressed pause. No one moved. My aunt stared at her wine like she wished it would swallow her. My cousin whispered, "Oh my God." Lila stood. That was taken out of context. Really? I said, turning to her. Because here's the rest. Click. No one really cares about birthdays after 30, Maddie. Grow up. Her voice again. Same tone. Same night. Followed by clinking glasses and laughter. You recorded us? Dad barked, face red. No, I said. You did. It was synced to the family Google account. You just forgot to log out. Mom looked at me like she'd seen a ghost. I didn't mean it like that. Like what? I asked. Like you used my bonus to throw Lila a party and told everyone I was overreacting? No one answered. Then someone spoke. It wasn't me. It was Aunt Caroline, Mom's sister. She'd been quiet for most of the evening. She looked straight at Mom and said, You've always done this. You always made her the fallback plan. Caroline, Mom tried. No, and Caroline said, You don't get to speak now. Then she turned to me. I didn't know, but I believe you. That cracked everything. Dad shoved his chair back. You're just bitter. You want to humiliate us. No, I said. I want out. I pulled out a second envelope. Inside, a printed copy of the deed. And just so there's no confusion as of yesterday, I've transferred this property out of the trust. It's mine now. Legally. Fully. Permanently. Lila gasped. You can't do that. I can, I said. I did. And the locks? Dad asked, voice dropping. Changed. His face turned gray. And the accounts? Mom whispered. Frozen. Lila's lip trembled. You think you're better than us? She spat. No, I said. I think I'm done pretending we're even family. I turned to walk out. But before I left, I stopped by the cake. Picked up the knife. Sliced myself a small corner, just frosting and edge. Held it up. To 31, I said. And walked into the night. The first letter arrived on Tuesday. Standard envelope. Cream paper. Black serif font. Header. Eviction notice. 30 days to vacate. Address to Lila Hampton. Maggie and John Hampton. Occupants with no legal claim to title. They didn't call right away. No, first came the texts. Dad, is this some kind of joke? Mom. Sweetheart, please explain what this is? Lila. You wouldn't. You can't. I didn't answer. The second letter went out Thursday. This time from the bank. Confirmation of ownership change. All automatic payments suspended. New billing required. On Friday, Mom tried to log into her health insurance portal. Locked. She texted, System's down. Can you check on your end? I replied, No longer my end. By Monday, I had 23 missed calls. 5 voicemails. One from a sobbing Lila. Why would you do this? I can't just leave, Maddie. Where am I supposed to go? I texted her one sentence. The same place you'd have sent me if the roles were reversed. Dad showed up at my office building. Security didn't let him pass the lobby. He called from the parking lot. You think a deed makes you powerful? That house was built with our hands. I replied. I paid the mortgage. You painted the shed. Then I blocked his number. I didn't cry. Not once. What I felt was something colder. Cleaner. Like glass after a storm. I changed everything. New apartment. Downtown. Hardwood floors. No photos on the walls. New locks. New mailbox. New phone number. This time not shared with anyone on my mother's side. Even my wardrobe changed. Structure jackets. Clean lines. Soft grays and deep navy. Power dressing, but for peace, not performance. My lawyer called a week later. All documents served. They've hired a mediator, but you're not obligated to attend. I told her. Let them scream into the void. I don't owe them a sound. But they didn't stop. Mom left a voicemail that started calm, broke into hiccuping sobs, then ended with, Are you happy now? You've destroyed your sister. Lila DM'd me on a burner Instagram account. You need help. I hope one day you seek it. You've always been jealous of me. I took a screenshot. Saved it in a folder titled, Archive, Noise. Then I blocked her too. My cousin messaged me 2 days later. They're saying you brainwashed by therapy. That you've become cold. I replied. No. I became clear. At work. I got promoted. I didn't post about it. Didn't share the title. But I did buy myself flowers, sunflowers, big and unapologetic, and set them on my new desk. When I left the office that day, I walked slower. No calls to answer. No emergencies to wire cash to. Just the sound of my heels on clean pavement. And the silence that followed. Back home, I poured a glass of wine and stood by the window. City lights blinked like static. Far below, traffic whispered through the dusk. I leaned against the cool glass and exhaled. This time, no one interrupted. No ping. No guilt trip. No gaslighting apology laced with debt. Just this. Finally. And I said it out loud, soft but sure. It's easier to breathe without background noise. It started with an envelope. No return address. No watermark. Just my name, Maddie, written in my mother's handwriting. A shaky cursive I hadn't seen since I was 12, and she left me a post-it that said, "Heat up leftovers. We're out late." I stared at the envelope for hours. I didn't open it until night fell. I waited until the city lights blurred the window and the wine glass in my hand was half empty. Inside were two things. A handwritten letter, one page, folded twice. A printed bank transaction, $71,864.09 wired to my account that morning. The sender? L. Hampton. I sat at my table, holding the letter like it might bite. Mom's handwriting trembled across the page. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect a reply. But your sister told us everything. The edited screenshots. The audio she faked. The account she used. She brought documents. She cried. And for once, she didn't fake that too. We verified it all. You weren't paranoid. You were precise. I wish I could say we didn't know what we were doing. But I think, deep down, we did. We just hoped you'd keep being silent. You were the one who made things possible and the one we made invisible. I'm sorry. For every bill, every time I looked away, every time I let your father joke about you in front of people who didn't deserve your name in their mouths. This wire isn't a gift. It's a refund. For what I can calculate. Not for what I took. I reread that line 5 times. Not for what I took. For a long time, I didn't feel anything. No tears. No anger. No rush of triumph. It was like watching someone else's movie. A movie where the villain suddenly sits down, unarmed, and says, "I did it." I know. I didn't call her. Didn't text. Didn't smile. Instead, I opened my laptop, scrolled to my folder labeled Debt Ledger, Family Edition. Line by line, I crossed each one off. Every wire. Every favor. Every forgotten reimbursement. All gone. Except one. Me. 2 days later, a second envelope arrived. Typed. Stapled. 3 pages. Signed at the bottom in trembling blue ink. Lila. Maddie. I lied. I lied to make you look like the villain because I didn't know how to be anything but the favorite. You always scared me. Not because you yelled. You didn't. But because you endured. I couldn't stand that you kept showing up, even when we gave you nothing. I started therapy 2 months ago, after I collapsed in the parking lot of that grocery store. Panic attack. They thought it was a heart attack. They made me list the people I hurt. Your name took 2 lines. I asked Mom to help me calculate everything. We triple-checked it. It's not a gift. It's yours. I can't take it back. But I can own it. I'm sorry. This time, I did cry. Not for what they said, but for how small I had made myself, hoping one day they'd see me. Now they had. And I didn't need it anymore. I didn't reply to Lila either. But I took $10,000 from the returned funds and sent it, anonymously, to a national nonprofit for financial abuse survivors. The note read, "For everyone who got called selfish the moment they said no." Then I made a transfer to myself. $12,000. Memo, birthday. Belated. And deserved. I changed the nameplate outside my apartment. It used to say M. Hampton. Now it reads, Golden Girl, LLC. Founder and financial recovery consultant. Appointments via email only. I didn't open an office. I opened a boundary. 1 week later, a final envelope arrived. No return address again. Inside, a photo. Me at 10 years old. Holding a cake. Beaming. Behind me, barely visible, my dad looking away mid-blink. On the back. I should have looked at you then. Dad. No apology. No explanation. Just that. I put it in the sink. Watched it curl in the flame until the ink ran. On the 30-day mark, I posted one thing on social media. Just a photo. I'm in a dark green suit. Barefoot. Feet on the desk. Wine in one hand. A single sunflower in a black glass vase. Caption. Balance returned. Freedom. Paid in full. My phone buzzed with messages. Former coworkers. Friends I hadn't spoken to since college. Even a DM from someone who once called me too serious. But my favorite comment was anonymous. Forgiveness suits you. I stared at it. Let it sit. Then typed my reply. It's not forgiveness. It's freedom. And silence has never sounded this good.